Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Japanese ebook before it's gone. Okay, let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. The vocabulary for this lesson includes a bunch of different phrases for different situations. So first, let's take a look at this group. These are expressions which mean excuse me. First is すみません. 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 This means excuse me. すみません. The second expression here is ちょっと待ってください. ちょっと待ってください. ちょっと待ってください, which means excuse me, or literally, please wait a minute. This part here, 待ってください, means please wait, and ちょっと means a moment or a little. So in this case, we can understand this as please wait a minute. Also, please notice the pronunciation of this. ちょっと has this stop in the middle, so not ちょっと, but ちょっと. That little stop is very important. We see the same thing here with 待って. So not 待て, but 待って. ちょっと待ってください. Please wait a minute. Okay, the next group is saying yes. How do we say yes in Japanese? First, we have はい. はい. In this case, we have it as a question because we can use this as a response to something else. はい. This is kind of a very direct way of saying yes in English as well. The second expression we have here is なんでしょう?なんでしょう?なんでしょう? Which means yes, or literally, what is it? What is it? So this なん is like saying what, and this でしょう is kind of a more polite way of saying is it. So what is it? なんでしょう? You can use this as a response when someone's trying to get your attention. はい, meaning yes, or なんでしょう, which is what is it? Okay, let's move on to the next group. The next group is saying thank you. So the first expression here is ありがとうございます. ありがとうございます. ありがとうございます, which means thank you. ありがとうございます. The second expression is どうもありがとうございます. どうもありがとうございます, which means thank you very much. So adding どうも to the beginning of this phrase makes it a little bit more polite. どうもありがとうございます. Thank you very much. You may also hear some people say どうも to sound very casual, which just means thanks. Thanks. So we have ありがとうございます. Thank you. どうもありがとうございます, which means thank you very much, and どうも, which just means thanks. Okay, let's move on to the next group. Next is saying you're welcome. So the first expression here is どういたしまして. どういたしまして. どういたしまして means you're welcome. This is the most direct way to translate you're welcome into Japanese, but it's not so commonly used in everyday conversation. Rather, we tend to use the second expression more. The second expression here is いえ, いえ, which means no. So in a giving and receiving situation, you'll probably hear both sides using this expression a lot. いえ. So in the case of the gift giver, when they give someone a gift and the other person receives it with ありがとうございます, for example, the person who gave the gift might respond with いえいえいえ, instead of directly saying どういたしまして, which may happen occasionally, but in lots of everyday situations, the person who gave the gift will simply say, no, 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 which kind of feels like, it's no problem, it was no big deal, don't worry about it, right? We do the same thing in English. So although we have it here listed as you're welcome, this word literally means no. So you can use it in a similar way when you are giving things to other people. Okay, let's move on to the next group. Next is I'm sorry, ways to say I'm sorry. So first we have ごめんなさい. 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 ごめんなさい means I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So use this expression when you make a mistake, you cause a problem, you bump into someone, for example. ごめんなさい. I'm sorry. The second expression we have is すみません. すみません. すみません, which also can be used to mean I'm sorry. So maybe you remember the very first expression we talked about was すみません up here, excuse me. So this does literally mean excuse me, but there are cases where we use this expression to mean I'm sorry, just as we do in English. We're going to see an example of this in the dialogues later, but kind of a way that you can keep them in line in your mind is to remember that ごめんなさい is when you want to apologize for something, and すみません is kind of more like an interruption. So sometimes, yes, you interrupt someone and you need to apologize for that thing. So you can kind of choose whichever one is the most appropriate for the situation. But if you want to express that kind of apology, mistake sort of feeling, in a lot of cases, ごめんなさい is the best. If you're simply interrupting someone, or maybe you bump into someone on the street, you might just say すみません. So there are some situations where one does sound a little more natural. We'll talk about this later. Okay, let's move on to the next group. Next is saying it's okay. It's okay. The first expression here is いえ, いえ, which we just talked about in the You're Welcome section. So いえ, which literally means no, can also be used to mean it's okay. So again, when you're giving someone a gift, for example, and they say, oh, thank you so much, you can say いえいえ. It's fine, no problem, no worries. You can also do this if someone else makes a mistake and they say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for my mistake. You might respond with いえ, which means it's okay, like no problem, no big deal. So いえ is a great word to use in this situation. The second expression here is 大丈夫です. 大丈夫です. 大丈夫です, which means it's okay. It's okay. So 大丈夫です literally means it's okay. This is a great word to know. You can use this in lots of different situations. For example, when you go to the convenience store and they say, do you need a bag? You can say 大丈夫です, which means it's okay, or I'm okay. So 大丈夫 is a really versatile word to know. Okay, now let's take a look at some sample dialogues that use these expressions. Okay, now let's take a look at some sample dialogues that use these expressions. First, when calling for someone's attention after they dropped something. So maybe you see someone on the street, they dropped some kind of accessory maybe. What do? You say, すみません, すみません, which means, excuse me. And the other person responds, はい, はい. So in this case, すみません is the best choice, which means excuse me. We would not use ごめんなさい in this situation because ごめんなさい is used to apologize for something, to say I'm sorry for something. You're not apologizing, you're simply trying to get someone's attention. So, as in English, it's most appropriate to say, excuse me, excuse me. And in this case, the person responds with はい. So it's a very kind of direct way to do this, but in this case, you're on the street. It's just someone that you don't know, but you're wanting to kind of show that you're using your attention to talk to this person. はい? Yes? What is it? So, すみません. はい? This is a very natural way to get someone's attention and to respond on the street. Okay, next, let's take a look at the second one. When expressing your gratitude to a friend who has given you a souvenir, you can say, ありがとうございます. ありがとうございます. Thank you. And then, if you want to be very direct with this, you can say, どういたしまして. どういたしまして. You're welcome. So this is a very simple gift-giving and receiving situation. ありがとうございます. どういたしまして. You might hear, いえいえ、どういたしまして, using the two of those together. Okay, the final example. When apologizing after bumping into someone on the street. ごめんなさい. ごめんなさい. I'm sorry. ごめんなさい. いえ、いえ, it's okay. So, in this situation, we've used ごめんなさい. ごめんなさい to mean I'm sorry because you made a mistake. You maybe bumped into somebody kind of roughly and maybe hurt them or confused them or something. You want to apologize. So you say, ごめんなさい. There are some situations where you might hear people also say, すみません. Maybe if it was just a quick brush or something, they might say, すみません. Excuse me. I'm sorry for that. And then the response is, いえ, it's okay. Don't worry about it. ごめんなさい. いえ, 大丈夫です. You might hear this used too. It's okay. No problem. So these are some examples of ways that you can use the expressions we covered in this lesson.
Do you remember how to say, excuse me? すみません. すみません. And how to say, excuse me, literally meaning, please wait a minute. ちょっと待ってください。ちょっと待ってください。Do you remember how to say yes? はい。はい。And how to say yes, literally meaning, what is it? 何でしょう何でしょう Do you remember how to say thank you? ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。And how to say thank you very much? どうもありがとうございます。どうもありがとうございます。Do you remember how to say you're welcome? どういたしまして。どういたしまして。And how to say you're welcome, literally meaning no. いいえ。いいえ。Do you remember how to say I'm sorry? ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。And how to say I'm sorry, literally meaning excuse me. すみません。すみません。Do you remember how to say it's okay, literally meaning no? いいえ。いいえ。And how to say it's okay? 大丈夫です。大丈夫です。
Great! In this lesson, you learned some essential social phrases in Japanese. Thanks for watching. I'm Alicia, and I'll see you again on JapanesePod101.com. それじゃあ、またね!
Hi everyone! Welcome to Basic Japanese Writing, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to master the Japanese alphabet. You've learned these 25 hiragana characters from the previous lessons. In this lesson, you learn 5 new characters and 16 new sounds. I promise it will be easy, so stay tuned to learn all about them. The first hiragana character for this lesson is ha. Ha. To remember ha, imagine this part is a capital letter H, and then there's a small a in front of it. Ha. Ha might look similar to ke, so it may be confusing. To tell the difference between them, remember that ha has a hoop. Did you miss the dakten last lesson? Well, this column can be modified by adding a dakten as well. Can you guess what the new sound will be after adding a dakten to ha? It will be ba, ha, ba, ha, ba. But wait, there's one more mark that can modify the H-column. It's the handakten, or maru mark. It looks like a small circle and it's placed in the same position as the dakten. This mark makes the consonant of the syllable plosive, and it's unique to this column. Ha with the handakten is pronounced pa, ha, pa, ha, pa. A consonant is plosive when there's a big burst of air coming out of your mouth when you say it. Pa, pa. Try to feel the difference. Ha, ba, pa, pa. Ha is also a popular hiragana. It's a topic marking particle in Japanese. So the word or phrase that comes before it is the topic of the sentence. But be careful, ha is pronounced differently when it's used as a topic marking particle. It will be pronounced as wa. For example, これは箸です。箱は大きいです。母は花が好き。Many native speakers actually find it hard to read this last example if it's written just in hiragana. This is where kanji is very useful. Knowing which part is a word and which part is a particle makes it easy to read Japanese. Hiragana ha is written in 3 strokes. The first 2 strokes are similar to the hiragana ke. It starts with a curved vertical stroke that ends with a hane. Then the second stroke is a short horizontal line. The third stroke is a vertical line which crosses the second stroke and finishes off with a loop. Okay, let's see it again. Okay, next up is the hiragana character hi. Hi. Can you see a smiling mouth going hi 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 hi? Now, let's add a dakten to hi. Hi with a dakten is pronounced as bi, hi, bi, hi, bi. And how will it sound like with a handakten? It's going to be pi, hi, pi, hi, pi. Hiragana hi is written in 1 stroke. Start by making a short horizontal line, then trace back a bit and make a big curve that ends around here. Trace back again and make a small curve. Okay, let's see it again. The third hiragana for this lesson is fu. It's not fu or fu, but somewhat in between fu, fu. It's a sound unique to Japanese, so let's remember it with something unique to Japan. Mount Fuji. Let's try adding a dakten to fu as well. How do you think it will sound? It's pronounced as bu. Listen carefully. Fu, bu, fu, bu. Now let's try it with the handakten. It becomes pu, fu, pu, fu, pu. Hiragana fu is written in 4 strokes. The first stroke is a short slanted stroke on the top. It ends with a hane. The second stroke is a medium-sized stroke that looks like a nose. Flick your pen at the end of this stroke and continue on to where the third stroke starts. Draw a short slanted stroke. This one also ends with a hane. Continue on to this point, where you make a final short carved line. It takes some time to get used to writing this character smoothly, so be sure to practice writing it. Okay, let's see it again. Next is the hiragana character he. He. It looks like it's pointing up to heaven, where the sky is. Let's modify he with a dakten. It's now pronounced as be, he, be, he, be. And when he is modified with a handakten, it will be pronounced as pe, he, pe, he, pe. He is the particle used to indicate the place towards which something is moving. Just like ha, he also changes pronunciation when used as a particle. In this case, we pronounce it as e, just like the hiragana e. Listen to some examples. 学校へ行く、駅へ行く。Hiragana he is written in one stroke. Start from the middle and draw a diagonal line upwards. Then, turn and make a longer diagonal line towards the bottom right. The peak of this character should not be in the center. Instead, it's a bit to the left. Also, the line upwards should be a little bit shorter than that of the downwards line. Okay, let's see it again. Our final character for this lesson is the hiragana ho. Ho. Try imagining a horse's face with its mane on the left side to remember this character. Does ho remind you of ha? They both have a hoop. So how do you remember them? Well, ho has two horizontal lines, and ha only has one. So this means ha has only half the lines and ho has the whole lot. What does ho sound like with a dakten? Ho with a dakten is pronounced bo, ho, bo, ho, bo. And with a handakten, it will be po, ho, po, ho, po. Hiragana ho is written in 4 strokes. The first stroke is a curved vertical line with a hane at the end, just like the first stroke of ha, ni, and ke. The second and third stroke are 2 short parallel lines on the top right. The final stroke begins from the second stroke, goes down, and cuts through the third stroke and ends with a loop. Make sure that the final stroke does not start above the second stroke. Okay, let's see it again. Let's see all the characters again. Ha, or if it's used as a particle, wa, ba, pa, hi, bi, pi, fu, bu, pu, he. Or if it is used as a particle, e, be, pe, ho, bo, po. Now, let's review what you've learned. I'll show you a character or a word and give you time to say them. Ready? Fu. Remember that it's like Mount Fuji. Bi. It has the handakten which makes it plosive, so it's pe. Na. Remember, it's the complicated knot, right? Which one is the hiragana ha? It's this one with the hoop and half the horizontal lines as ho. Go. Chi. Hana. This means flower. Hiza. It's your knee. This could be hashi, meaning chopsticks, or hashi, which means bridge. Fushigi. Fushigi means strange. Hanabi. This is Japanese for fireworks. Literally, it means fire flowers. Fukuzatsu. This means complicated. Hikidashi. Hikidashi is a drawer. Keppeki. It means perfectionist. Great job! As you learn more characters, you notice that some of them look similar. Try making a chart of your own, grouping similar characters and list down a unique feature you can find for each so that, when you see it, you can identify that specific character easily. Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. In this lesson, you learned ha, ba, and pa, hi, bi, and pi, pu, bu, and pu, he, be, and pe, and ho, bo, and po. よくできました。You've now mastered 30 characters and 56 Japanese syllable sounds. Are the Dakuten and Handakuten marks getting too complicated? Don't worry, this is the last column you'll use them in. Next time, there's no need to use your head as much, but you learn how to say it in Japanese instead when we move on to the M-column. Before you go, practice writing the following words on your own. 旗、骨、8、星、肘、膝、ひげ、ニキビ、1つ、2つ、ほうき、差別、響き、日付、複雑、方法、一つずつ、潔癖。See you in the next lesson! またね! Hi everyone! Welcome to Basic Japanese Writing, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to master the Japanese alphabet. You've learned these 30 hiragana characters from the previous lessons. In this lesson, you learn 5 new hiragana characters. The first hiragana character for this lesson is ma. Ma. Try looking at it as a man in a mask, and you remember ma. Hiragana ma is written in 3 strokes. Start with 2 parallel horizontal lines. Both of them go from left to right. The first horizontal line is slightly longer than the second one. The third stroke starts from the top, cuts through the first 2 strokes, then makes a loop at the bottom. To keep a good balance, don't make these 2 horizontal lines too long. They should be just a little wider than the loop at the bottom. Okay, let's see it again. Okay, next up is the hiragana character, mi. Mi. Think of it as the musical note mi. Do, re, mi. Hiragana mi is written in 2 strokes. The first stroke starts with a short horizontal line, goes down, makes a loop at the bottom, and ends with an arc. The second stroke is a carved vertical line that cuts through the end of the arc of the first stroke. Okay, let's see it again. The third one is the hiragana mu. Mu. Mu looks like a cow, and what do cows say? Moo! Hiragana mu is written in 3 strokes. mu starts in a similar way to the character su. First, draw a horizontal line. But unlike su, this should be a bit to the left. Next, start from the top and cut through the first stroke. Then, make a loop towards the bottom. After the loop, retrace the same line, but unlike su, don't flick your pen yet. Instead, turn to the right and make a horizontal line. Then, turn upwards and stop right here. Don't pass the first stroke. The third stroke is a short slanted line above the end of the second stroke. Okay, let's see it again. This is the hiragana character, me. Me. Does me remind you of this character? The one where the chopsticks are holding some noodles? But look, this part is now missing. This means that the chopsticks dropped some noodles and made a mess. Hiragana me is written in 2 strokes. Me is written just like nu, except for this loop at the end. So first, draw a curved, slanted line. The second stroke starts at the same height as the first stroke, but curves opposite it. Then it finishes with a big curve. Instead of the loop in nu, flick your pen at the end of this stroke. To have a good balance, make sure that proportions of the spaces are correct. Okay, let's see it again. And our final character for this lesson is the hiragana mo. Mo. To remember mo, just imagine it as a monitor lizard. This part is its huge long tail. Ma and mo might be confusing because they look similar. But just remember that ma is the one with a mouth. Hiragana mo is written in 3 strokes. First, draw a fishing hook shape starting from the top and ending with a flick. It looks like a hiragana shi, right? The second and third strokes are the 2 parallel horizontal lines intersecting the first stroke. Okay, let's see it again. Let's see all the characters again. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Now, let's review what you've learned. I'll show you a character or a word and give you time to say them. Ready? Me. Me actually means eye. Mu. Pa. Which one is a hiragana nu? It's this one, holding more noodles. Ka. Tsu. Just like a tsunami. Zo. Sa. Remember not to mistake it for chi. Machi. This means town or city. This could be ame, which means rain. Ame, which means candy. Atama. It's an important part of your body. It means head. This is kimono. It literally means something you wear. Tameiki. It means sigh. Mainichi. Mainichi means every day. Speaking of which, I hope you're practicing every day. Try saying this long one. Was it difficult? Yes, it is. 難しい means difficult.
Great job!
Do you have other mnemonic suggestions to make remembering hiragana easier? Share them in the comments below. Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. In this lesson, you learned hiragana characters ma, mi, mu, me, and mo. よくできました。You've now mastered 35 characters and 61 Japanese syllable sounds. Do you know what the nuigurumi is? You're going to find out what this cute word means next time when we tackle the R column. Before you go, practice writing the following words on your own. 紐 道 熊 無駄 港 もみじ 荷物 まぶた おまけ ため息 はちみつ まぶしい 食べ物 飲み物 つま先 毎日 まじない 蒸し暑い 難しい もったいない See you in the next lesson! またね! Hi everyone! Welcome to Basic Japanese Writing, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to master the Japanese alphabet. You've learned these 40 hiragana characters from the previous lessons. In this lesson, you learn 3 new characters and 33 new syllable sounds. Yes, 33. 11 times 3, 33 new sounds. Got to learn them all. The first hiragana character for this lesson is ya. Ya. Ya actually looks like a yak. The 2 horns are protruding on top. Hiragana ya is written in 3 strokes. The first stroke is a long diagonal line going up, which ends with a curve. It looks like a slim tsu. The second stroke is a short slanted stroke at the top center. The third stroke is a tall diagonal line, which cuts through the first stroke around 1/3 from the left. Okay, let's say it again. This is the hiragana character, yu. Yu. There's a magical way to remember yu. Just think of a unicorn. Yu is also a popular hiragana character, but not because of how it's used in a sentence, but because it is used as a mark for onsen or hot spring bath. Yu actually stands for oyu, meaning hot water. Hiragana yu is written in 2 strokes. The first stroke starts as a vertical line going down. Then it retraces back, then forms a big curve that almost turns into a circle. The second stroke is a curved vertical stroke that cuts through the curved part of the first stroke. It ends with a flick of your pen. Okay, let's see it again. Our final character for this lesson is the hiragana yo. Yo. To remember yo, imagine a yo-yo dangling from a finger. Hiragana yo is written in 2 strokes. The first stroke is a short horizontal stroke starting from the center, going to the right. The second stroke starts as a vertical line going down. Then it makes a loop towards the bottom. Okay, let's see again. There's another set of syllables in Japanese which is formed by adding the ya, yu, or yo sound to a consonant plus an i sound. This time the ya, yu, and yo characters are written smaller. These are the Japanese digraphs called yoon. Even though they look longer, they are still the same length in syllables as the previous characters that you've learned. Kya, kyu, kyo, gya, gyu, gyo, sha, shu, sho, ja, ju, jo, cha, chu, cho, nya, nyu, nyo, hya, hyu, hyo, bya, byu, byo, pya, pyu, pyo, mya, myu, myo, rya, ryu, ryo. Technically, you could also make a digraph with ji, but it's not in use anymore. One thing to note is that you need to be careful when writing or pronouncing them. They are written smaller and they are pronounced by gliding to the Y sound and not pronouncing the E sound. Doing it otherwise might get you a completely different word. Here's an example. Ryu means dragon, but Ryu means reason. Another one is kyo, meaning today. However, when you pronounce the E sound and say kyo, it means handy or skilled. Let's see all the characters again. Ya, yu, yo, and the digraphs. Kya, kyu, kyo, ya, yu, gyo, sha, shu, sho, ja, ju, jo, cha, chu, cho, nya, nyu, nyo, hya, hyu, hyo, bya, byu, byo, pya, pyu, pyo, mya, myu, myo, rya, ryu, ryo. Now, let's review what you've learned. I'll show you a character or a word and give you time to say them. Ready? Yo, ho, yu, the magical unicorn. Ya, no, a, remember the apple? Shi, yume, it means dream. Yama, yama is mountain. Yasui, this means cheap. Ryori, ryori means cooking. Are you good at it? Kaisha, it means company. Judo, judo is the national sports of Japan. Shukudai, this means homework. You should do it. Byoin, it means hospital. You don't want to confuse it with byoin, meaning hairdresser. Great job! Do you like listening to Japanese songs? Try finding the lyrics in Japanese with Hiragana online and practice your hiragana by reading them and eventually singing them. Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what you've learned. In this lesson, you learned the hiragana characters ya, yu, and yo and all the Japanese digraphs. よくできました。You've now mastered 43 characters and 99 Japanese syllable sounds. Wow! We are going to finish up hiragana in the next lesson with the last 3 characters. Wa, wo, and n. So don't miss it! Before you go, practice writing the following words on your own. お湯、夜、屋根、予約、休み、お茶、紅茶、会社、休憩、正月、怪しい、幽霊、酔っ払い、太陽、焼肉、醤油、病院、図書館、住所、自己紹介。See you in the next lesson. またね。またね。
In the next minute, you'll be challenged to use parting expressions. First, let's look at some examples.
じゃ、また。またね。またね。おやすみ。
おやすみなさい。
Let's practice.
かなさんは家へ帰ります。かなさんに挨拶をしましょ
う。じゃあまた。バイバイ。
かなさんは寝ます。かなさんにおやすみを言いましょう。
おやすみなさい。また明日。
How did you do? You can consider this practice exercise successful if you were able to answer in the given time and used a proper parting expression, as in the following example.
またね。
Try this practice exercise again if you want to improve your fluency or skill in any of these areas.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. 皆さんこんにちは、Alicia です。In this lesson, we're going to look at how to give simple directions in Japanese. Let's get started. Okay, let's start by looking at the dialogue for this lesson. The first line in the dialogue is this. 図書館はどこですか? 図書館はどこですか? Where is the library? The response is まっすぐ行ってください。それから交差点を右に曲がってください。図書館は左にあります。So at faster pace, まっすぐ行ってください。それから交差点を右に曲がってください。図書館は左にあります。This means go forward and then turn right at the intersection. The library will be on the left. Let's take a look at some more examples of this and break down the parts of the sentence. Okay, great. So let's look at a breakdown of these direction-related sentences and look at some more examples. First, let's take a look in depth at the dialogue. The dialogue begins with a basic question. Where is the library? Notice this question starts with the location we're looking for, 図書館, library. Then the answer begins with the first direction, まっすぐ行ってください. So, まっすぐ means go straight. And then 行ってください is a polite way of saying go ahead. So, まっすぐ行ってください, if we want to translate this directly, would mean please go straight. We follow this with それから, which means and then or after that. 交差点を右に曲がってください. So here we have our next kind of point, our key point, our location that we need to use for reference purposes. 交差点 means intersection. So, 交差点を右に曲がってください. Migi means right. So we have our two direction words here. まっすぐ, go straight. Migi, right. And then later on we have 図書館は左にあります. 図書館, so library, は左にあります. Hidari means left. So we have our three direction words in this sample sentence. So let's take a look at some more examples and see how we can shift these words around. So, for example, in this sentence, we have 左に行ってください. 左に行ってください. So, 左 means left. It's in the same position as まっすぐ行ってください was in this example. 左に行ってください. それから, after that, 交差点を左に曲がってください. 銀行は右にあります. So, in this sentence, we're looking for 銀行, so the bank. In this case, we've replaced 図書館, which we had in the first example, with ginko. So we simply put ginko, or the place that we're looking for, in this position in the sentence. In this case, we're giving a reply for the direction. So one more time. 左に行ってください. それから交差点を左に曲がってください. 銀行は右にあります. So 銀行は右にあります means the bank is on the right. You'll notice this pattern right here. 右にあります, or in this case, 左にあります. This is how we say it's on the left or it's on the right. So in English, we use that preposition on in this sentence, right? 左にあります is the pattern that we use. It's on the left, and 右にあります for it's on the right. Let's take a look at one more example sentence then. まっすぐ行ってください. それから交差点を右に曲がってください. 区役所は左にあります. So again, we have go straight to begin the direction. まっすぐ行ってください. Then we have それから after that 交差点を右に曲がってください. Turn right at the intersection. Finally, 区役所は左にあります. 区役所 in this case, 区役所 means city hall. So 区役所は左にあります. One more point that you should consider when you're giving directions is this right here. 交差点を. In all of these example sentences, we see 交差点を. So we don't want to use に as we're doing here. 左にあります. We're using 交差点を in this case. So 交差点を左に曲がって. 交差点を右に曲がって. So that's another point to watch out for. Be careful of these little particles. Okay, so with the sentence breakdowns done and with these example sentences in our mind, let's take a look at the basic pattern for this lesson. Okay, great. Let's take a look at the basic pattern for this lesson. The basic pattern to reply to someone's request for directions is direction 行ってください. So direction here means go straight, left or right. So direction 行ってください. This means go direction. So go straight, go left, or go right. 行ってください. So this is a more polite way to say go in that direction. Kind of like saying go straight please, or go left please, or go right please. Then the follow-up to this is それから place を right, left に曲がってください. So in this follow-up, we're saying after that, after this first direction, next location. So this can be another building, it can be an intersection, whatever. Place を right or left, depending on the direction, に曲がってください. This 曲がってください means turn. So this comes from the verb 曲がる, yeah? So 曲がってください means please turn. Please turn right or left at this place. それから place を right or left に曲がってください. and then turn right or left at the place. Okay? Then we have the location, the final location. Place wa right, left ni arimasu. So, place, the location, the actual destination, wa right or left, depending on the street, right or left ni arimasu. So, the place that you're looking for will be on the right or on the left. Great. Finally, let's take a look at some key vocabulary words that you can use with this pattern to make your own directions. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at the key vocabulary for this lesson. In this lesson, we talked about two different categories of vocabulary. We talked about direction words and place words. Let's review the direction words first. First, we have masugu, masugu, which means forward or straight. Masugu. Note, in this word, we have a stop, so not masugu, but masugu. Masugu. Make sure you have kind of that stop or that breath in the middle of the word. So not masugu, masugu, masugu. This means forward or straight. Next we have left, hidari. Hidari, this means left. We saw this in hidari ni magatte kudasai. Please turn left. On the other hand, we have migi. Migi, right. We saw this in migi ni magatte kudasai. Please turn right. So these are our direction-related words for this lesson. Now let's take a look at our place words. So we saw some of these in the dialogue and the example sentences. Let's review. First is 図書館. 図書館. 図書館 means library. We saw this in the first example sentence. 図書館はどこですか? Where is the library? Next is 交差点. 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 This means intersection. Intersection. So we talked about turning right or turning left at the intersection. 交差点. Next is コーヒーショップ. コーヒーショップ. These have long sounds here. So not コーヒー, but コーヒーショップ. コーヒーショップ, which means coffee shop. Coffee shop. Maybe your destination. コーヒーショップはどこですか? The next word is 区役所. 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 区役所 means city hall. City hall. Or you might also see it translated as ward office. 区役所. Finally, we have 信号. 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 信号 means traffic light or traffic signal. So we can use all of these to give directions and to ask about certain destinations in the city.
Do you remember how to say forward? まっすぐ。まっすぐ。And how to say go, as in go forward. 行ってください。行ってください。Do you remember how to say go forward? まっすぐ行ってください。まっすぐ行ってください。And how to say right. 右。右。Do you remember how to say turn, as in turn right? 曲がってください。曲がってください。And how to say turn right? 右に曲がってください。右に曲がってください。Do you remember how to say intersection? 交差点。交差点。And how to say turn right at the intersection? 交差点を右に曲がってください。交差点を右に曲がってください。Do you remember how to say and then? それから。 それから and how to say and then turn right at the intersection. それから交差点を右に曲がってください。それから交差点を右に曲がってください。Do you remember how to say left? 左、左。And how to say we'll be on the left? 左にあります。左にあります。Do you remember how to say library? 図書館、図書館。And how to say the library will be on the left? 図書館は左にあります。図書館は左にあります。Do you remember how to say coffee shop? コーヒーショップ、コーヒーショップ。And how to say city hall? 区役所、区役所。Do you remember how to say traffic light? 信号、信号。
Great! Now you know how to give simple directions in Japanese. We hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Also, don't forget to check us out at JapanesePod101.com for some other things that can help you with your Japanese studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson. じゃあね!
In the next minute, you'll be challenged to use essential social expressions. First, let's look at some examples.
すみません。
はい。ありがとうございます。
どういたしまして。
すみません。
大丈夫です。
Let's practice.
かなさんが道でハンカチを落としました。あなたはそれを見ます。かなさんに声をかけましょう。
はい。
あなたはかなさんに時間を教えました。かなさんはお礼を言います。それに答えましょう。
ありがとうございます。
かなさんは道であなたとぶつかりました。かなさんは謝ります。それに答えましょう。
すみません。
How did you do? You can consider this practice exercise successful if you were able to answer in the given time and used a proper expression, as in the following example.
ありがとうございます。
Try this practice exercise again if you want to improve your fluency or skill in any of these areas.
Hi everybody, my name is Risa. Welcome to the 2000 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is 鼻水 runny nose 鼻水鼻水 runny nose 鼻水が出ている。have a runny nose. 鼻水が出ている。めまいがする。dizzy. めまいがする。めまいがする。dizzy. めまいがします。I feel dizzy. めまいがします。鼻づまり。stuffy nose. 鼻づまり。鼻づまり。stuffy nose. 鼻づまりの薬。medicine for a stuffy nose. 鼻づまりの薬。バレーボール。volleyball. バレーボール。バレーボール。volleyball. ビーチバレーボール。ビーチボレーボール。ビーチバレーボール。ゴルフ。ゴルフ。ゴルフ。ゴルフ。ゴルフ。ゴルフをする。play golf. ゴルフをする。ボクシング。ボクシング。ボクシング。ボクシング。ボクシング。ボクシングのリング。ボクシングリング。ボクシングのリング。旅行する。travel. 旅行する。旅行する。travel. 観光バスで旅行する。travel by tour bus. 観光バスで旅行する。卒業する。graduate. 卒業する。卒業する。graduate. 5月に学校を卒業するので仕事を見つけたい。I graduate from school in May, so I want to find a job. 5月に学校を卒業するので仕事を見つけたい。引っ越す。move. 引っ越す。引っ越す。move. 去年、郊外に引っ越しました。I moved to the suburbs last year. 去年、郊外に引っ越しました。ニューデリー。ニューデリー。ニューデリー。ニューデリー。ニューデリー。ニューデリーに行く。Go to New Delhi. ニューデリーに行く。Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. First, you will hear a word or phrase in English. Respond in Japanese, then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say runny nose? 鼻水。 鼻水 and how to say dizzy. めまいがする。めまいがする。What about stuffy nose? 鼻づまり。鼻づまり。Do you remember how to say volleyball? バレーボール。バレーボール。Let's try golf. ゴルフ。ゴルフ。What about boxing? ボクシング。ボクシング。Now, let's see if you remember how to say trouble. 旅行する。旅行する。Another one. What about graduate? 卒業する。卒業する。Do you remember how to say move? 引っ越す。引っ越す。And finally, do you remember how to say New Delhi? New Delhi. New Delhi. Well done! See you next time! またね!
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
いらっしゃいませ。
肩こりがひどいんですが、何かいい薬はありますか？
貼り薬と塗り薬、飲み薬がありますが、どれがいいですか？
おすすめはどれですか？
そうですね。こちらは新製品でよく効くと思います。
じゃあ、この貼り薬をください。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
塗り薬
ointment
効く
to take effect
ひどい
cruel, terrible
肩こり
stiff shoulder
新製品
new product
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
いらっしゃいませ。
肩こりがひどいんですが、何かいい薬はありますか？
貼り薬と塗り薬、飲み薬がありますが、どれがいいですか？
おすすめはどれですか？
そうですね。こちらは新製品でよく効くと思います。
じゃあ、この貼り薬をください。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
すみません。このパンツを試着したいんですが。
かしこまりました。こちらの試着室へどうぞ。いかがですか？
ちょっときついです。もう一つ上のサイズはありますか？
はい、少々お待ちください。こちらです。どうぞ。いかがですか？
これにします。裾上げしてもらえますか？
はい、1時間ほどお時間がかかりますが、よろしいですか？
はい、お願いします。
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
サイズ、
size,
きつい、
Tight.
裾上げ、
Hem up.
試着する
try on,
上
Up. Above.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
すみません。このパンツを試着したいんですが。
かしこまりました。こちらの試着室へどうぞ。いかがですか？
ちょっときついです。もう一つ上のサイズはありますか？
はい、少々お待ちください。こちらです。どうぞ。いかがですか？
これにします。裾上げしてもらえますか？
はい、1時間ほどお時間がかかりますが、よろしいですか？
はい、お願いします。
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Welcome to Who is Speaking? Can you distinguish between a native Japanese speaker and an AI-generated voice? Listen carefully and let us know in the comments. Let's get started.
ベン君の家族ですか？
Is this your family?
はい、父と母と妹と私です。
Yes, this is my father, mother, a younger sister, and me.
ベン君の家族ですか？
はい、父と母と妹と私です。
Welcome to your 2000 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you are ready, It's quiz time! Hiro. Kayumi. Nodo ga itai. Yakyū. Ice hockey. Skiing. Paperclip. CD. Bye. Madrid. Great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our Japanese ebook with the core 2000 words for daily life situations. Welcome to your 2000 core Japanese words and phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you are ready, it's quiz time! Hanamizu. Memai ga suru. 鼻づまり。バレーボール。ゴルフ。ボクシング。travel。graduate。move。New Delhi. Great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our Japanese ebook with the core 2000 words for daily life situations. Hi everybody, my name is Risa. Welcome to the 2000 Core Japanese Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is saxophone. 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 サクソフォンを習う。Learn the saxophone. サクソフォンを習う。ドラム。drums. ドラム。ドラム。drums. ドラムを叩く。Play the drums. ドラムを叩く。ハーモニカ。ハーモニカ。ハーモニカ。ハーモニカ。ハーモニカ。ハーモニカを吹く。Play the harmonica. ハーモニカを吹く。ルームサービス。ルームサービス。ルームサービス。ルームサービス。ルームサービス。ルームサービスの食事。Room service meal. ルームサービスの食事。レシート。receipt. レシート。 レシート、receipt。ホテルのレシート、ホテルreceipt。ホテルのレシート、Wi-Fi、Wi-Fi、Wi-Fi、Wi-Fi、Wi-Fi、Wi-Fi のルーター、Wi-Fi ラウター、Wi-Fi のルーター、ゴミ箱、garbage can、ゴミ箱、ゴミ箱、garbage can、ゴミ箱を動かす。Move the garbage can。ゴミ箱を動かす。封筒、envelope。封筒、封筒、envelope。赤い封筒、red envelope。赤い封筒、紙、paper。紙、紙、paper。一枚の紙、piece of paper。一枚の紙。婚約する。engage。婚約する。婚約する。engage。婚約したの？おめでとう。Are you engaged? Congratulations! 婚約したの？おめでとう。Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. First, you will hear a word or phrase in English. Respond in Japanese. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say saxophone? Saxophone. Saxophone. And how to say drums. ドラム。ドラム。What about harmonica? ハーモニカ。ハーモニカ。Do you remember how to say room service? ルームサービス。ルームサービス。Let's try receipt. レシート。レシート。What about Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Now, let's see if you remember how to say garbage can. ゴミ箱。ゴミ箱。Another one. What about envelope? 封筒。封筒。Do you remember how to say paper? 紙。紙。And finally, do you remember how to say engage? 婚約する。 翻訳する。Well done! See you next time! またね!これはいくらですか?
In the next minute, you'll be challenged to ask the price of something. First, let's look at some examples.
これはいくらですか?
200円です。
コーヒーはいくらですか ?500 円です。スイカはいくらですか ?1000 円です。
Let's practice.
店にいます。商品を手に持って値段を聞きましょう。
1000円です。
コーヒーショップにいます。コーヒーの値段を聞きましょう。
500円です。
How did you do? You can consider this practice exercise successful if you were able to answer in the given time, completed a pattern with an item, and used the sentence pattern featured in this example.
スイカはいくらですか
Try this practice exercise again if you want to improve your fluency or skill in any of these areas.
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Japanese ebook before it's gone.